This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life, and it is so fun to have Oli Pettigrew here with us again. It's been a long time since we sat here and visited.
We were just trying to figure that
And
out,
it wasn't
weren't we?
here. It
No.
was at one of the previous locations.
We were in the old studio, and we just bumped into each other the other day and realized it must be nearly 2 years.
I think it's been longer than I should have gone back and looked because I don't know.
It's so hard to keep
I have no
track of
perception
time.
of time anymore.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's...
I just do it by how tall my children are. You know, it's like
That's
they were this
always a
big.
good-
They were this big. you
Right,
know?
right. You have the marks on the
Pretty
facing
much.
of the door,
They're-
don't you?
My
Aren't
daughter
you doing
stopped
that?
growing a few years ago, whereas my son, he's still shooting
He's
up.
still...
Yeah.
Yeah, when they were relatively
Uh-huh.
young-ish when
Yeah,
when we
they're
talked.
17 now.
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
believe it?
as you can tell, he's not from these parts.
We gave it away. There you go. A
No,
t-shirt.
no.
Adopted Texan.
He's an adopted Texan. But yeah, Ollie, your story is just so wonderful, and it's funny how our paths crossed, unbeknownst to both of us. But when you were on the television show, right this minute,
Yeah.
I was working at KXXV,
Yes, that's
and we have
right.
monitors all around the newsroom, and kind of middle of the afternoon, we'd be working, and I'd look up and I'd see this wonderful show, people sitting around looking at videos and yucking about them, and I thought, what a fun gig that would be.
Yeah, it
Instead of
was.
sitting, working about death and destruction and who murdered who, and they're just laughing. And then later, you were
Yeah.
one of those guys.
I still
was
get
watching.
people that I still to this day. I mean, every couple of days there's somebody online that goes, "Wait a minute, you're the Right This Minute guy. I used to watch you on TV." I'm like, "Yeah, that's
Well,
me."
see, and I might have made more of a connection, but I never heard the audio, so I
Right.
never
Yeah.
heard
Ah,
anything you said.
some
and
would say
so
it was very lucky of you.
I would have. I don't think so. Well, I would have picked up on the accent. So you were born in Hong Kong.
That's right. Yeah. I'm a very international. Like we were talking about last time, is on my dad's side, every generation of my family for like 6, 7 generations have all been born in different countries. So it's like
That's kind of a
Singapore
cool...
for my kids, Hong Kong for me, India for dad, Iran for my great granddad, but it was Persia, where his dad died as a prisoner of war, who was born in Russia, and then before that, North America. And if you
Really?
follow it all the way back, I am a direct descendant of Lewis Morris, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and one of the 7 founders of Canada.
Both.
Yeah, I know. Got a kind of North American connection here, so I guess it made
That's
sense
I
to.
don't think I've ever met anyone with those kinds of...
Isn't it weird? Yeah, it's my family is like we did do our DNA though. I'm just boringly white. I am just like, as we all thought, seeing as we've lived all over the world, surely at some point we've kind of like, no.
Something in
Nope.
there?
We I was even more white than I thought, because I thought I was a 3/4 English, a quarter Irish, but I'm actually 3/4 English. I'm an 1/8 Irish and an 1/8 Scandinavian, which is even whiter than English
Yeah, that's
people.
pretty white.
Yeah, basically translucent. That's me.
Well, you met your beautiful wife though when you
Mhm.
were modeling.
That's
you
right.
You had graduated from
College in the UK. So
college
did you
in the UK is considered. What was the university that
I
you
went to where it's now called the University of the Solent, but it was in Southampton. I went to Southampton Institute, where I did corporate communication, which was PR, advertising, TV, radio production, and then
Go figure.
I only did 25 years of that so far. So it turns out it was the right course to do.
Yeah. So what kind of sparked your interest in that as a kid?
You know what I wanted to do? Is I wanted to be creative director of an advertising firm.
Well,
It's kind of the job I was looking at. What I really wanted to be was a TV host, but I thought, how am I going to do that? But I always
could that
found,
happen?
yeah, I know. But I always found, because I still talk about this with people, is there are commercials I can remember from 40 years ago, a really good 30-second commercial where you can educate, you can keep people's attention, you can entertain them, and you can make them remember. It's one of the trickiest art forms out there.
yeah.
And I really enjoy doing that. And I'd like social media is quite similar to that. You know, you've got to get the information between 90 seconds to 2.5 minutes, because people flick away. And then when I'm doing sort of like, I'm an HEB ambassador right now. So when I do my videos for HEB, they've got to be 60 seconds. So it's a real challenge to be entertaining and to give information and everything else. But I feel like,
Well,
that's
that's
always
not
what I
like
kind of
you're
wanted to
reading.
do.
You don't want to be reading a commercial.
Oh, no.
Anybody could do that.
Yeah, that's honestly,
not it.
I like find the creative solution to these issues. Find something, a little hook, a little Texas hook, a little joke or something. Like the last intro to my video that I sent them, I rhymed the entire thing. And then one of the other ones I just sent them the other day is, okay, I'm working HEB as an acronym throughout the script. So I keep saying things which are HEB, HEB, HEB throughout the video just for fun. Because I'm like, oh, that'll be funny.
Well, so your connection to Texas came through meeting
That's right.
your wife while in the Far East, right?
Yep. And
as models, she's a model as well.
She was a top model for 28 years. I met her, about halfway through her career. And we just met at a casting in a hotel. And then we just instantly connected. We're currently doing videos telling this story. So many people have asked.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
So I put one out the other day. It was like 45 minutes long. I cut it down for various socials, but I put the full video online. I've got the second part coming up because it's such a long and entertaining story. So I've now done 2 45-minute episodes, and we're only now to about 1 year in. We haven't got... Because everyone's like, how do you get to Texas? Okay, well, it's a long story.
It's a long story.
It's a very funny one. So I'm slowly telling the story, which is quite fun.
Yeah, well, you have made the most of it, though, being
Yes.
in Texas. I
Yeah.
mean, you really have. And what I find fascinating about you and talking to you is how you've totally embraced the whole digital age, new media.
Mhm.
And we were talking the other day about how another way you're monetizing it.
Yeah.
I forgot what you said the name of this is.
Patreon.
Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon.
Patreon.
So so Patreon, it's a very common thing. You'll find a lot of artists are using, a lot of creators, authors, things like that, musicians. But it's basically if people sort of like your content, right? So they're watching it. So I did a video and I said, all right, guys, look, because whenever I do a sponsored video, people are like, oh man, do you have to do sponsored videos? And yeah, I've got to pay the bills, right?
Right. Commercials, yeah.
I'm only a small creator. I've got a couple, like 250,000 followers, but that you don't make anywhere near enough ad sales on people viewing your videos, right? And they're getting videos for free. Basically, Patreon is you subscribe to the idea of me. So there's patreon.com/that Englishman in Texas. And people can just subscribe. They can buy me a glass of wine a month for $5. Buy me a bottle of wine a month for $10. And it just supports what I'm doing. And so at the moment, I think I've got 50 Patreon supporters now.
Yeah.
But like, if I can get that to 1,000, then I never have to go out and find a sponsor again. It means
Wow.
I can just go, because I get invited to a lot of things in East Texas, West Texas, North, South.
Traveling, though.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is it all comes out of my pocket. Anytime I've got to go anywhere, I've got to fund it. And so, I can't just fund things to lose money. I've got to be able to keep it in the black, so to speak. And so what I do now is find sponsors. But if I had enough Patreon subscribers, then I can do what I want and tell all these stories, because I can go and afford the gas and afford the hotel room.
Right.
And I can just focus on the Texas of it all instead of having to find, the sponsor side of it all as well. Much as I like doing the sponsored stuff for sure, because I don't just take anything. If I find a
Right, it
brand
needs to
or
be
something
something you
that
believe in.
makes sense,
Yeah,
exactly,
right.
that's like, all right, that's something that I actually own, or that's something that I use, then yes, I will 100%. That's why teaming up with HEB was a no-brainer.
Okay, so let's back up to that because for even further. So what sparked the idea, here, I'm English, I'm in Texas. What am I discovering?
Well-
when did you kind of go, light bulb moment, why don't we do some content on this?
It's right. So after the show, honestly, it was motivated by being broke, unemployed, and depressed, to be perfectly honest. But because first time I wasn't working for 17 years, right?
Right.
I'd gone from consistent,
Well, and
constant
you did the
work.
show for a long time.
I did that one for 8 seasons, and then for the 9 years before that, I hosted 15, 16 other TV shows in Asia. So I've been so busy for nearly 20 years, and to suddenly be out of work. And like you and I were talking about, the world has changed. The way people consume media has changed. Very few people tune in to watch a TV show because it's on at 9 o'clock. They watch it on a schedule. Everyone wakes up in the morning and they pick up their phone and they start flicking. And so as I was here, I was just I was realizing, how am I going to fit into this world? Well, I can still tell stories. And then I just started why don't I just tell a perspective about Texas? Because that's what I used to do for Lonely Planet and for things like that. And it was when I was away, I took a trip back to see my parents in Thailand because I needed to get my head straight. You need to break the cycle when you're stuck in the cycle of I don't know where I am or what I'm doing, you got to
Just
reset.
do something.
Unplug it and plug it back in,
Yeah.
right?
That's what
So-
the engineers always told us to
Exactly.
do.
It's the solution to so many things. So I went
Yeah.
to Thailand. That's kind of where I came up with the idea of that Englishman in Texas. Like, I realized, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to start telling the stories. And I went from, I think I had 17,000 followers on my Facebook page, and that's it, as Oli Pettigrew. And I started doing that Englishman in Texas. And like I was saying, I think I'm up to 275,000 followers. I'm about to hit 100,000 on Facebook today,
Really?
maybe. I just need 100 more followers on
Oh my
Facebook,
gosh.
and I'll hit 100,000. But that's just been because I tell people, other people that are like, how do you get into it? And I go, you've just got to start.
Yeah.
You just have to start putting it out there. You've got to put yourself out
I
there.
don't know what the algorithms or whatever, or how the magic happens, but every once in a while something will kind of go viral.
Yeah, I mean, I had one just the other day, I just did, sometimes you got to keep it simple. And I just did a top 5 things, or, I said, I did a video about everybody, like if you travel anywhere, Texans know you. Like I had one today, which is Texas is the most famous state in the world. Because it is. Everyone's heard of Texas. You can go anywhere in the world and they have heard of Texas,
Oh, yeah.
And like they might say California, I go, no, you know LA because they make movies. In New York, no, you know New York City. You know nothing about Buffalo in upstate New York. But if someone, it doesn't matter where you are, if you're in the Sahara Desert or Russia or wherever, you're in the Antarctic and you say Texas, they'll go, yeehaw, howdy, boo, cowboys. And I'm like, yeah. And it's like the shape of Texas itself. It's like the
iconic.
Texagon,
Yeah, right.
It's like you
For
guys
sure.
have got the best branding
Yeah.
ever.
Or even you see the 5-point star, that's
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah, 100%. So, when I started, I was kind of like, well, I wonder if I'll be able to find enough stories to tell for a couple of weeks. And here we are, nearly 600 videos.
I was going to say, how many years ago did you?
Two and a half now.
Yeah. Well, and you, of course, you're not in Texas and you don't go into an HEB. And I think it was even before you had hooked up with HEB.
Yep.
And I was like, man, you need to be paid by these people for
It was
all
one
that
of my,
you do. And then just pretty soon you got a deal with
It was
them.
one of my very first big viral videos was me talking about the big secret that Texans won't share with anyone else. And it was HEB. And the irony, it went hugely viral. But then I had hardly any followers. And so this was on TikTok back in the day. And so it's only when you passed a certain amount of followers could you then receive messages from brands. So it took me months and months, like 4 months later, my thing, and it goes, oh, by the way, you got a message from HEB 4 months ago. And they were like, hey, we want to team up. Can we? And I'm like, what?
And it
yes!
was 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They were
But
like,
it's-
well, what's the deal with him? He won't call us back.
Oh, yeah, I know. They're like, wow, he's playing it cool. But no.
He's holding up for more money.
I kind of say what I like, now that I'm like working with them together, it's a little bit like getting an infinity stone in Texas. Like people hear you're working with HEB, they go, oh, wow, oh, right, okay.
Well, no
And
kidding.
it's like, that's incredible. It's like saying you met the queen or something,
Okay, so how does that work? Do they have certain, do they contact you? Hey, we want to push Bluebell, or how do you do that?
A little bit, yeah. It's just essentially like, because my relationship kind of started with them was doing a commercial with their Super Bowl so you know how they have a Super Bowl commercial every year?
Oh yeah.
I'd do
what
a
kind
video.
of treats you're gonna make?
Yeah, so I'd kind of do a video alongside that, and then now the way it works is I just do X amount of videos every month for X months at a time. So they'll just say, all right, Oli, we want to talk about this, and it'll be a certain, their brand of chips or ice cream or something like that. But then I get full creative control to find a fun and entertaining way to do that.
to tell that story.
So it's,
That is amazing. I mean, it really is the best of all worlds for a creative like you.
Yeah, I do. I love the challenge. I do. And it's like, I've got a new one coming. I can't tell you about it, but it's going to be very funny. It's alongside this advertising campaign they're doing with the Astros, and they were like, Oli, we know you're going to come up with something funny for this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I've already written the script. It's going to be great. So it's good to make people, like I said, make people laugh. I like with that Englishman, I like people learning without realizing they're learning. I like entertaining them. And I like that, I even had someone comment going, Oli, you're one of the only people that can do a sponsored video, but makes me want to watch it because it's funny. And I'm like, good. Make sure you tell HEB that.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So how do we tell HEB that?
Oh, sorry, they already know. Yeah, they know. That's why they came back.
I love you. That's so funny.
The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss. BizChair.com, your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business.
Funny. Well, when you were kind of first getting started, you had a big account with Levi's, right?
Yeah.
That was when you were doing
I was
your
like
modeling
18,
thing.
19, yes. You can still find those pictures. I posted some of that. That's the thing. Like, if you're on my Patreon, I'll post stuff like
Some archival
I
stuff.
find all these old pictures and things like,
How fun.
these crazy things that we got up to and behind the scenes. So yeah, you'll find me with my pierced eyebrow from back then. And I did a lot of Levi's stuff. That was one of those things that I was always very lucky that, when I was younger, I go, well, I'm getting into modeling. Okay, well, I'd love to do a Levi's campaign. Did that my very first year. And then I got into
Wow.
doing TV and I was like, commercials. And I go, I've always wanted to do like an Axe commercial because they're so funny. That was the first commercial I ever did. And then I was like,
Really?
oh man, I really want to get into television. Got into TV. All right, I want more than one TV show. Had more than one.
You had a bunch.
I lived a very, very blessed
Almost
life.
a charmed,
Yeah.
a charmed life. But yeah, I'm glad you used the term blessed
Yeah.
because yeah, absolutely. But and so we talked about your kids. They're growing up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
you're in Lorena.
Yeah, my daughter just had prom last weekend.
Oh,
That's
my
been the
gosh.
big junior prom. But still that was been, that's been the
Oh.
focus of the last couple of weeks, but they went off without a hitch, which is great. And then my
So do you
son.
do something like that in England?
Yes. Yeah, my daughter was
Is it
actually
like
asking.
a winter? I know the winter glitter is the thing they do at Vanguard.
Oh,
Anyway.
Well, we
which
had
might be the prom.
last night of school, we'd have like a big thing. So I went to a school which was kind of like Hogwarts, just less magic. But we had all the stained glass
Less
windows
broomsticks.
and it looks, I took my daughter, she's like,
How-
you went to school here?
Here?
And I was like,
I
can I
bet,
go
yeah.
here? No, I can't afford it. It's ridiculous. But we had this big last night. We had the big thing in the speech hall. And so we all get dressed up in tuxes and the girls are in dresses. And the cool thing is that you just have the run of the school for the night. And then if you stay up all night down on the south lawn, yes, it was 120 acres, there would be a tent. They'd erect a tent. And in the morning at 6 o'clock, there'd be sunrise, champagne and strawberries for everyone that can make it through till sunrise. And so, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh my! What a picture you have painted with that.
Yeah, it's fun. I often tell those kind of stories because I did have for a while, a very British experience for about 12 years.
Yeah, my husband and I love to watch all British TV. I mean, we really don't watch American TV,
Mhm.
but we watch, on BritBox and Acorn. We
Ooh.
watch all. I think we've seen every detective show. What is it with the Brits and detective?
They
shows?
love it, and it's always
They
some
love
quaint little guy as well. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like
Oh, I love
it's
them,
like
yeah.
it's a priest, or it's like
Uh-huh.
it's an amateur. Yeah, I love it. They love it too. My parents are the same as well. They live in
Oh,
Thailand,
Midsummer
but they
Murders,
watch they
Yeah,
watch all the
everyone
British
knows.
shows. So they even watch like news and stuff. So they're totally clued into what's going on in the UK, even though they live in Thailand. I mean, speaking of British shows, I'm only 2 episodes into this. There's only 2 left, but everyone's talking about it. Have you seen Adolescence? It's on
No.
Netflix.
Okay, I'll
It's
have to check that out.
huge. It's the biggest thing on Netflix. It's the biggest thing in the UK.
Adolescence, and it is
It's a
set where? Where is
four
it set?
episode miniseries set up north. Like it sounds like their accents are Liverpudlian.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a whodunit in a way. It's more about incel culture and the manosphere's effect on teen boys nowadays. But what's so amazing to watch about it is if you have any understanding of television production and things like we've done, is the whole show is done in one shot. But it is it's not just in one place. It's going from the scene of the crime to inside the house to riding in the car to inside the police station, from all around the police station to the interviews to into the school. And the last episode I saw, at one point, the camera just gets attached to a drone and goes over to the other side of town and comes back down. So it is, from just a technical standpoint, incredible. But that filmmaking approach sucks you into the story.
I was going to say puts you in the story.
So it's very tense.
Wow.
And you're just, you're only getting information as the people that you are following are getting information.
Right. You're
I could not more highly recommend it. Like I said,
I'll have to check that out.
I got two episodes to go, but it is pretty
Yeah.
intense. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, good. Another one to our list of things. But because we have watched Vera, which is set in Northumberland, up in that area, we just feel like we know the British Islands so much.
Yeah.
By watching, it's like travelogues, watching these shows.
Well, it's a little bit like what I tried to do with Texas, with that Englishman. It's like, I've been calling myself now, like my thing is like I'm the unofficial Texas ambassador.
Yes,
so
you are.
I like to explain Texas to Texans, non-Texans, and non-Americans alike. And so, I've been I've started working with the Texas State Historical Association because I've been getting
That's
into Texas
awesome.
history videos as
Yeah.
well. I've been working with cities now around Texas. I'm doing a presentation to a bunch of cities in like a couple of weeks, actually, here in Waco.
Okay.
And honestly, I mean, like, I'm trying to Texas Tourism Board. Why are you not hiring me? That's what I need. I'm really trying to get on their radar.
Well, you absolutely should be. And of course, I'm a little bit biased, but I think the history in and around Texas
it's
beats
fascinating.
any other state in the union. I think we do.
You are completely right, because it's that's what's so unique about Texas. You guys have such a unique history compared to any of the other states. You're very proud of the fact that you were a nation first. The whole Six Flags story is fascinating, and that's why Texans have such an independent mindset. That's why they have that sort of pride.
We actually were a country.
Yeah,
There's
that's
not
the
another
thing.
one that was like that either.
So I did a big video. One of my videos the
Yeah.
other day that hit over 1 million was when I said a great way to understand the Texas mindset is ask where they're from. Now, if you meet an American overseas, most Americans, when you ask them, where are you from? They'll say, I'm from the USA. I'm from the States. Texans are from Texas.
You better believe that.
Texas first, America second, and that's just like, once you understand that about Texans, it will help you understand everything else about Texans and why they're so proud.
Well, since you're doing this, have you spent some time at the Texas Collection at Baylor yet?
No, I've heard about this.
Definitely need to.
Yeah.
I'm doing something for the Baylor Lifelong Learning, and it's music. And so one of the songs we're going to sing is Texas, Our Texas.
Right.
So you know the song.
I do, of course.
You know the song. Well, it has multiple verses. The original manuscript of Texas, Our Texas is in the Texas Collection.
Wow, no way. You're going to tell me it's written on the back of like a beer thing,
No, it's on a score sheet, but it was, Anyway, Governor Patnaff made sure it was put at Baylor.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, the Texas Collection has got all kinds of.
I was just down at I took my mum and dad. They were just here a year ago, because I remember that, because it was for the eclipse, which was like a year ago.
Yeah,
like
April
almost.
8th last year.
And I took them down, and we went. My dad really enjoyed the Alamo, because I went there. I've been there a number of times over the last 20 years, but this was the time I finally went down, where all the Phil Collins exhibits are there now. Because a lot of people didn't know that, but that Phil Collins had the largest collection of Alamo memorabilia on Earth. And he donated it to Texas a couple of years ago.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that was just his special interest, was the Alamo. And so
what
that was always
kinds of things did he collect?
The rifles of like these from the guys and the
really
like
Davy Crockett.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, he had the stuff, the best stuff, and
Wow.
I remember seeing that randomly. So it used to be one of my little Texas like bits of knowledge that I drop on people. But now, because a couple of years ago, he donated his entire collection. So when you go down now, there's this whole new wing. So if you haven't been at, I highly recommend going, because there's this whole new exhibit, 2 floors. It's all air conditioned. It's really, really modern. And they've got all of his stuff. And then what they also have is they've got this big model of the Alamo. And it tells the story of what happened with animation on it. But Phil Collins he's telling the story. So he does the voiceover.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I had heard there is going to be a major renovation there, and it's going to be closed.
Yeah,
for a time.
actually, yes, when we were down there with my parents,
Yeah, they were
every
telling
block
about that.
that was already demolished.
Oh,
so
okay.
you could get to the Alamo, but every block around it, the one block around it, was a big construction site. But yeah, they're expanding it out. They're going to pull back to where the original wall was. They're going to create a much more of effect. I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that is a great idea. So, not a lot of time left, but through all your Texas immersion, what surprised you the most about the Lone Star State?
Well, I've been surprised that you can still be surprised. When I started off, my real kickoff was I told the story about how I felt that Texas was greatly misunderstood. And that, what I found fascinating, and it's the question I always ask everyone, I believe I asked you last time, is what's the state motto of Texas? So many Texans don't know it, but it is friendship. And if you trace the etymology of the word Texas through Tejas, all the way back to, I think it's Teisha, but it's the word that the Caddo Nation, the native people of Texas, had for friend. And ally. Texas literally means friend. And the thing is, I've been every corner. It doesn't matter where I go now in Texas, that I get recognized everywhere. It's crazy. Even more than I ever did on television.
Really?
And it's just, people are so genuine and open and so friendly. And what I really enjoy is that people come up to me and they're like, y'all really treat our state with respect. You're interested.
I love how you've adopted the accent very
can,
well.
I
mean,
do
there's
that,
several in Texas, and you're very good at that.
I like to do it. I do like to do it. I just did one yesterday. I updated the Texas Pledge of Allegiance. I wrote a new one, which is just very silly.
Could you share it with me?
I think it's I pledge allegiance to the flag because it's awesome. One nation under 49 states, but only on the map. I pledge for freedom from bad barbecue and bad beer. And then it was Friday Night Lights. Remember the Alamo. All hail HEB. Yeehaw. I'm glad I can remember that.
That's good. No, you did good.
But yeah, no, that's the thing, is that there's so much more to see. I was actually just talking about with another big Texas creator on the phone right before I came out here to record, and we're talking about let's team up, let's go out and do some adventures together, because I really want to get out west. I want to get, I've never been to Big Bend.
I've got lots of ideas for you, Marfa. We were talking about that before we started recording. Yeah, you've got to.
There's a lot. So honestly, I do say it is that please, reach out to me. You can find me at thatenglishmanintexas.com. And if you want me to come out, I'm always looking for small businesses, medium businesses, but also Texas-made brands.
Yes.
I work with a lot of smaller Texas brands.
Quintessential Texas.
So by Texans, for Texans.
Well, and HEB's known for doing that too.
Big time. Yes, they do.
That's what they do.
So I'm always looking for that. But also, if you're a city and you want me to come out, I've had chambers of commerce, I've had cities, conventions and visitor bureaus, I've had cities themselves just reach out to me, and we organize a trip and we'll put it together. I'm always looking for an adventure. That's my mindset.
Well, it is just fun to catch up with you again, Oli, over a few years.
Yeah, let's not wait 2 years to the next one.
Let's not wait 2 years because you are just, you've got such enthusiasm and energy and just fun about you. But Texas is near and dear.
Very much.
To us here.
I'm loving Texas. I love living here. I never would have thought. I mean, I've got chickens now, and I have chickens.
Will you share eggs? Do you have more eggs?
I do have eggs. I do have eggs. They're doing pretty well. I've got Gertrude and Mildred are my chickens. And then I just let them out every day, and they follow me around, and they sit on my leg. And who'd have guessed? Who'd have guessed?
When you were posing for a Levi's hat.
Yeah, back in the day.
I can just picture the cosmopolitan, sophisticated.
Me and my chickens.
Yeah, here I am with my chickens. Yeah, it's lovely to see, though, how life has brought you to this point. And again, don't be a stranger.
Oh, I won't
For
be.
sure. And again, how can folks, because you've got a podcast about movies. Tell
That's
them about
right.
that real quick.
Yeah. So if you're ever interested in movies, I do a movie podcast here with Rogue Media as well. It's called the United States of a Movie Podcast. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I have a Facebook page as well. And what we do is every week we choose one state and we try to find one movie to define each state in the United States. For example, when we came to Texas, we had Giant,
had
we
to do
had
Giant,
Dazed and Confused, we've had Hell or High Water, we've had all this kind of stuff. And
Oh, lots.
we really kind of get into, what these movies are about, but also what they talk about and if they really do represent the state. It's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. We're big movie nerds. We've done a whole trip around the state already. The country already, and we're currently in season 2. And then outside of that, you can find me as that Englishman in Texas everywhere else, or Oli Pettigrew on Facebook,
That's right. And Patreon.
and my Patreon as well. So yes, if you do enjoy what I'm doing, do consider subscribing because it really does help me out and it helps me tell the stories that you want to see.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Oli. And thank you for being with us for Central Texas Life. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.